In today's video, I'm gonna talk about everything that you need to know about the Grand Canyon. So if you're planning a trip to the Grand Canyon, if you wanna know everything about where to stay, how to move around, how is the transportation inside of the Grand Canyon, and most importantly, you wanna know more about the history of the Grand Canyon. So this is gonna be the perfect video for you, so stay tuned. Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to a new video. My name is Llanos. For the ones that don't know me, I do a lot of videos about traveling, hacks, tips that you can do around the world, and many other things. So if this is something that you are interested in, if you are a traveler, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and let's move into the video. Okay, guys, so the first thing that you need to know about the Grand Canyon is the Grand Canyon. There's not going to be a lot of information on the web, so I decided to make this video to actually help you to move around the Grand Canyon, because personally speaking, when I went to the Grand Canyon, it was a headache moving in the Grand Canyon and actually knowing where to stay. So in this video, I want to help you and make your trip easier whenever you're traveling to the Grand Canyon. Okay, the first thing that you need to know is going to be about flights. Where are you planning to stay? So I found that there are going to be only two locations that you can stay on. So the first one is going to be in Las Vegas airport. The second location that you can take a flight on is to the Phoenix, Arizona. And then from Phoenix, Arizona, whenever you book the flight, they're going to transfer you to the nearest location, which is basically 1.5 hours close to the Grand Canyon, and that's the Flagstaff location. So it's gonna be two locations, one from Las Vegas, and if you're planning a trip from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, it's gonna take you roughly, like Google Maps says, around 4 hours. But I gotta tell you that for some reason I think Google Maps is lying, and in the total trip that I think is gonna take you from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon is around like 5 to 6 hours. That's basically without stopping, just going straight to the Grand Canyon. The second location, like I mentioned before, is gonna be 1 hour and 1.5 hours, depending of how fast do you drive to the Grand Canyon. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna go over the days and how you should plan your trip to the Grand Canyon. I'm gonna tell you my personal story and how we plan our trip to the Grand Canyon, so it's gonna become easier for you to know what time to stay in a particular place. So we knew that on Monday, I'm just gonna give you some random days because they fall in the same section. So on Monday, we weren't gonna be in Las Vegas because we were gonna leave first thing in the morning. So our checkout time was around 6 a.m. in the morning, and we left to Las Vegas. So we knew that in this specific day, we weren't come back to Las Vegas, because coming back from the Grand Canyon to Las Vegas is gonna be very tough, especially if you drove 4, 5, 6 hours to the Grand Canyon and you're planning to come back driving 4, 5, 6 hours from the Grand Canyon all the way to Las Vegas. So we didn't want to drive back to Las Vegas, so we decided to book a place near the Grand Canyon. And if you're planning a trip from the Flagstaff, I will recommend you to stay there, because a trip to the Grand Canyon is pretty much 1 to 2 hours. So it's pretty close, as you can see. So here's Flagstaff, as I'm pointing my mouse to, and there's gonna be the Grand Canyon right here. So it's gonna be really easy for you to just go back and forth. So it's like around 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So I will recommend you to stay in the same place that you booked your hotel, not necessarily change the way that we did when we were staying in Las Vegas. So like I said, so we left Las Vegas and we booked a place near the Grand Canyon, which is gonna be like around this location. You're gonna have different options in case that you wanna book a place inside of the Grand Canyon. This price is actually relatively cheap compared to the prices that we were looking at before, and the prices that we were looking at before was around like $400, $200. I guess it depends on the season. We stay around this place, which basically was a mobile home. So now that we talk about the flights and where to stay, so now we're gonna move about how you can get to the Grand Canyon. So there are gonna be different ways that you can go to the Grand Canyon. The first way that you can go is gonna be if you can rent your own car. So like I mentioned before, there's gonna be a company which is called Turo.com. You can go there and then you can book cars for a very affordable price. So that's gonna be like Airbnb. It's pretty similar to Airbnb. That's why you're gonna get cheap prices, because it connects auto owners with travelers. Instead of getting big companies, that's going to be a cheaper option that you can look into. And the second option will be basically, obviously, it's going to be if you decide to go in a tour. So it's going to take you a tour bus is going to take you, just to give you some heads up whenever you're taking a tour agency or like a tour bus. Something I don't like about those tour buses is that you need to go in their own time. So basically, probably they will show you one location for like 10-20 minutes, and then you just gotta keep moving and moving. So that's gonna be the second way that you can travel all the way to the Grand Canyon, whether you're going from Las Vegas or whether you're going from Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, there are gonna be a couple of things that you should know whenever you're traveling to the Grand Canyon. Is that there are not gonna be a lot of places to eat. So some heads up will be that you should buy your own food before going to the Grand Canyon. Let's say you're gonna leave around 6 in the morning if you're planning to go to the Grand Canyon from Las Vegas. So you're gonna be expecting to get there like around 12. So you must buy something to eat. And actually it's gonna be cheaper if you decide to buy food like in a Walmart. If you decide to stop in a grocery store, you can buy those groceries for you so you can have it in your car. So it's gonna be more cheap if you do it that way instead of stopping in restaurants. So just going back to our trip, I'm just gonna give you some of the things that we did before heading to the Grand Canyon. So whenever we were about to leave the Las Vegas, we were planning different things to do along the way to the Grand Canyon. So our estimated time of arrival to the Grand Canyon was gonna be around 12 to 1 p.m. So we left Las Vegas, Nevada in a car from 6 a.m. in the morning, and we were expecting to get there like around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. or so. I just gotta tell you that basically wasn't realistic at all, because we decided to kind of like go through different ways so we can explore a little bit of the Valley Fire of State Park. We can explore the Zion National Park. If you don't know these places, I covered all these places in a previous video that I did before. So I would definitely recommend you to look into these places, because that's gonna be on the way to the Grand Canyon. Because we decided to make all these stops, we didn't get to the Grand Canyon on time. So we got to the Grand Canyon like around, after visiting all these places, we got to the Grand Canyon like around 12 a.m. in the morning. That's basically was almost like around 18 to 20 hours before we arrived to our destination. That was completely unplanned, and that's the reason why I'm making this video, is because you need to know these things before heading to the Grand Canyon. What are you planning to do along the way? Are you mainly going to the Grand Canyon without derouting yourself to different destinations? So this is the thing that you should know before the Grand Canyon. And luckily enough, we were able to kind of like, prior to getting to the Grand Canyon, we knew we were gonna stay near the Grand Canyon so we can leave the next day. We actually booked an Airbnb near the Grand Canyon. The closest place that we were able to find was a mobile home. And surprisingly enough, we didn't expect too much from this mobile home. And this mobile home pretty much was very cozy. It was really warm, despite the fact that it was really cold in the Grand Canyon, near the Grand Canyon. It was really clean, and they accommodated everything according to our needs. So we had coffee in the morning, we had a microwave, we had all these things. And I'm thankful enough that I was able to book this prior to that, because imagine we got there like around 12 a.m. in the morning without any place to stay. That would be rough for you, because you're gonna be there, and most of the places are really far away from the Grand Canyon. So let's say you got to the Grand Canyon and you thought maybe they're gonna have a hotel nearby. Imagine just going back from the Grand Canyon to any other place close that is gonna have a place to stay, like a hotel or anything like that. So I feel like this is something that you should definitely know before getting there, because it's gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of headaches, and most importantly, it's gonna help you to take advantage of your trip. Okay, so the next day after we stayed in the Grand Canyon, we went first thing in the morning, like around 7 a.m. in the morning. We went to the Grand Canyon. We arrived to the Grand Canyon like around 9 a.m. The cost of the Grand Canyon is going to be like around $35. And they're gonna have different prices depending if you go in person, depending if you go in bicycle, depending if you go in a SUV, or depending if you have a card to go into the Grand Canyon. And I just want to mention a couple things in case that you want to come to the Grand Canyon. First of all, you need to come very early in the morning, because the parking spots are gonna be limited unless you're gonna be hiring like a bus or something like that. And right now we just found parking. And you need to keep in mind, in order to come to the Grand Canyon, if you want to visit all of it, you at least gonna need to have at least 7 hours or 8 hours to spare, because the hiking, the going from one point to the other point is gonna take you a long time, so you need to take that in consideration. Okay, and this is gonna be some quick tips for you. So right now I'm gonna show you the map, and this map is gonna come included, so you can just ask right in the door. They're gonna give you a map, and I'm just gonna break it down for you a little bit easy so you can understand like what I'm talking about when you need to spend at least 8 hours a day here. Okay, so this is gonna be the map through the Grand Canyon, and right now we're gonna be parking right here. So you're gonna have different options in order to navigate this whole thing. One of them is gonna be a shuttle bus, which is gonna take you from different points in the Grand Canyon. The second one, you can take a bicycle if you wanna just take a bicycle all over the place. And you can also have your own car, and then you're gonna have little spots right here that it says parking, parking, parking. Keep in mind that in order to get parking access, you need to come really early in the morning, because you don't know if these parking lots are gonna be fully occupied. So you need to take that in consideration. And just to keep in mind what we're gonna do today, so we're gonna take a trip from here, which is gonna be the visitor center. We're gonna go to the Mether Point, and then we're gonna walk all the way to Yavapai Point of a massive Jolly Museum. So usually this will be 20 minutes, and you can also take a bus, but personally I will say that you should go and watch the view from here all the way up, and then from here you can head all the way to like the village, and from here to here it will be like around an extra 30 minutes if you decide to walk through the rail right there. And just for your information, even though it looks long, it's not necessarily long. It will be like 30 minutes. As you can see right here, this point, in case that you want to go to the Hermit's Rest, these will take you a long time. I'm talking about maybe like 3 hours, 4 hours. Even though it looks short, it's a long path that you need to take in order to get to the Hermit's Rest. So that's what I'm saying. Even though it looks short, it's longer, and this one looks a little bit longer, but it's shorter than this on the side. Same thing to this. So once you arrive to the Yaqui Point, in case that you want to come here, and then you're gonna go walking all the way up, this is gonna be a long walk from here to there, so you need to keep that in mind. Once you get the map, it's gonna be pretty much self-explanatory, but you watching this video is pretty much gonna give you everything that you need to know in order to plan your trip to the Grand Canyon. And this is gonna be some of the things you probably didn't know, is that you can bring your own SUV if in case that you have those big cars, because you probably have big family, and you can actually take those spots and you can sleep in there. So I think this is something cool that you should know in case that you just want to stay inside of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is 277 miles long, 18 miles wide. Unlike the Wall of China, you can actually see it all the way from the space. All the water in the world, rivers, will only fill half of the way of the Grand Canyon. The evolution of the Grand Canyon didn't happen in a dry desert like you see today. It happened underwater a million years ago. Even though you see the Grand Canyon with these incredible rocky mountains, you'll be surprised to know that this was an ocean from billion years ago. As a result of the rise and fall of the oceans, it created different natural, beautiful multi-layers as the ones that you can see now. From the top of the Grand Canyon, you're gonna be able to see the Colorado River. And the good thing about the Grand Canyon is that you're gonna find a lot of signs that are gonna tell you a little bit of the history about the Grand Canyon. And I hope that by me telling you a little bit of the history actually is gonna help you more to see the beauty of the Grand Canyon, because this is just a beauty of nature. It's a beautiful landscape, and I think you should definitely visit it. And I cannot say anything. Actually, the camera doesn't even give justice to the beauty of this place. And some of the tips that I can definitely recommend you whenever you're gonna be in the inside of the Grand Canyon is that make sure you're gonna bring some comfortable shoes, because you're gonna be walking a lot. through different locations throughout the Grand Canyon. The good thing about the Grand Canyon is that like you're gonna find some really close places where you can find some souvenir stores in case that you want to buy something from the Grand Canyon and you want to support them. They're also gonna have some restaurants like the Tobar Bar, El Tobar, which is basically a restaurant. The only thing about this restaurant is that the things inside here are gonna be expensive. So if you're thinking about buying food in here, you should think about it. Okay guys, and also I wanted to mention like one of the things that you should do in the Grand Canyon. Personally, we didn't do it because we didn't know that you actually have these activities inside of the Grand Canyon, and that's basically skydiving. So this is gonna be a place that's gonna be near the Grand Canyon that you can book the services and you can do skydiving in the Grand Canyon. So I really found it amazing because the Grand Canyon is just a beautiful landscape. Like this is something that you should do. The price for this is around $300 per person. If you want to do the skydiving, definitely do it. If you want to have one adventure like this, I feel like if you want to do a skydiving, if that's something that you want to do in your checklist, this is the best place that you should do a skydiving on. And just a couple of things that you probably didn't know, and this is something that I personally like it because I'm all about like preserving nature, kind of helping to preserve the resources as well. Is that in the Grand Canyon they all wanna like conserve energy, they all wanna like conserve water. So I really found interesting is that they like most of these houses they use solar panels to get electricity.
Hey, so make sure that if you're gonna drink some water, instead of purchasing on the store or anything like that, make sure you bring your own bottles of water. They're gonna be providing you with a natural spring waters, and you can just fill it up. This is gonna be for free, and so you can save. Cheers. So bueno, man.
All overall, I would say that the Grand Canyon is definitely a place that you should visit whenever you are thinking about going to a place. I think this is a place that should be on your checklist, and this is a place that you should go once or maybe twice in your lifetime. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Okay guys, and I just hope that all this information was helpful for you. So don't forget that you can always subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get more tips, more traveling tips like this one. If this is something that helped you and somehow added some value to your life, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I just want to say thank you, and don't forget to follow with me in my social media accounts at Anthony Llanos1 in Instagram, and where I'm gonna be posting all my traveling like photos, videos. Without further ado, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget one more time, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next time. Peace. Take care.